module, we are going to be establishing connectivity between our Maven server and our Nexus repository. Now we've just created our Nexus repository. We need to establish the connectivity between our Nexus server, between our Nexus repository basically, and our Maven server. So for us to do that, let's begin by creating a repository on Nexus. So once you're on Nexus, you click on repositories here. You can come here to repositories. You click on create repository. And when you click on create repository, you click on create. Now you select Maven 2 hosted. You select Maven 2 hosted, and then you give the repository the name Java Web App Repository. You give the repository the name Java Web App Repository. They ask what type of artifacts does this repository store. This repository will store both release and snapshots. So we are going to be storing both release and snapshots. So we'll take mixed to indicate that we'll be storing both release and snapshots. Once you select mixed, it's just basic. Remember Java Web App Repository, and then you'll be storing mix, both release and snapshots. Once you select that, you click on create repository. Now once you've created a repository, that is the first step. The second step, we need to come to our VS Code. We need to modify our pom.xml file to match the necessary configurations of our given Nexus server. Now the pom.xml file, for you to modify those configurations, once you open this pom.xml file, the file on line 64 and on line 69 has the configurations where you specify the given Nexus server. So for us to configure where we can verify the given Nexus server, we go back to our EC2 console. We come to our EC2 console. You select the private IP address. You copy the private IP address of the Nexus learning server. Once you collect the private IP address, you come back to your pom.xml file. Remember, this pom.xml file is under the practice Maven learning project we've been working on. You come to line 64 of your pom.xml file. You highlight this IP and you replace with the IP of your Nexus server. Now, why are we doing this? You remember, if you come to this documentation, we saw that Nexus runs on port 8081 of any IP address. So you see, by default, any IP address and port 8081 are used. So in a pom.xml file, this is the IP address of our Nexus server, and then this is port 8081. This is the IP address of our Nexus server, and then port 8081. Take note, it is the private IP, not the public IP. It is the private IP of our Nexus server. Now, once you have this private IP of your Nexus server, you replace it in line 64 and you replace it in line 68. You replace it in line 68. You do the same thing. You come to your setting.xml file. You replace in line 64. You paste. You come to your setting.xml file. You do the same modifications. You come to line 63. These are setting.xml file. You come to line 63. You paste. And then you come to line 74 and you equally paste. You come to line 74 and you equally paste. Now for the section concerning SonarQube, we are going to be configuring this section in a bit. This section concerning or containing some configuration with respect to SonarQube. We'll be configuring this section in a bit. Now, once you have this basic configuration, you should see modified in your setting.xml file, as well as you see modified. Once you've done these configurations, you should see modified in your setting.xml file, as well as in your pom.xml file. You should see modified. With these given modifications, what we need to do is for us to push the code to our GitHub repository. Remember, you'll be pushing it to the GitHub repository, which is the practice Maven learning repo, which is a repository that contains our code base and is a repository which we use to set up our Maven server. Now, while you're in this path, you want to do a git status. If you do a git status, you'll see that we have modified our pom.xml file, as well as we have modified our setting.xml file. And the modification was basically us adding the necessary Nexus IP configurations in our pom.xml file and in our setting.xml file. Now, once we've done that, we can do the necessary git commands it says we should do a git add. So we do git add and then dot git add dot. We should have added these two files into the staging area for us to commit. So if we do git status again, you'll see that there's modified Java web app and Java application code. Once you have that modification, you need now to do git commit -m. We can say modified pom.xml file and modified settings.xml, and then you end with the inverted comma. So that is what your commit message should look like. Modified git commit -m, modified pom.xml and setting.xml. Once you hit enter, you see that we have 2 files changed, 2 insertions and 2 deletions. With those necessary configurations, when you're sure that your files have been added, 2 insertions and 2 deletions, you can clear, and then we do a git push. Once you do git push, it will tell you enumerating, and then the files have been pushed to the repository upstream. Once both files have been modified, you come back to your Maven server, and the most important thing we are doing back in our Maven server is for us to pull the new changes which has happened in our repository. So you cd into the practice while in the Maven server, you cd into the practice Maven learning. If you do pwd, you will see you're currently in the home easy to user practice Maven learning. Once you're in the practice Maven learning, you now do a git pull for us to get the new configuration changes. If you do a git pull, you'll see 2 files changed, 2 insertions and 2 deletions. Once you have these configurations, 2 files, 2 insertions and 2 deletions, we now need to move this settings.xml file into the we're moving the settings.xml file into the .m2 directory, which is what is being used by Maven for security and authentication and all the like. So we need to move this setting.xml file to the .m2 file containing the most recent updates with respect to our Nexus servers. So for us to do that, let me cd back to our home directory. If I do pwd, you see I'm in the home EC2 user. Once you're in the home EC2 user, you do an ls for the .m2. For the .m2, you see there is already an existing setting.xml file which is used by default by Maven. So our responsibility is to replace this setting.xml file in this .m2 directory with the new setting.xml file which we just cloned. And for us to do that, we cd back to our practice Maven. We do an ls again. You see we have a setting.xml file here. So for us to move this file to our .m2 directory, we have mv, and then we specify the file which is the settings.xml file, and then we specify the directory which we are trying to move it to, which is .m2 directory, and we hit enter. So once we do that, we have successfully moved the settings.xml file containing all the security settings from our practice Maven learning to our .m2 learning. So if you do an ls, you will see there's no longer any settings.xml file here. Now, the next and the most important thing is for us to cd to the Java project, and I'll now run the Maven deploy. Remember, previously we had a failure because we were not having connectivity with our Nexus server. So the tellers could not find artifacts, failed to default, Java failed to deploy artifacts, could not find artifacts, Java, this build error, this in Nexus repository. So they say we could not find an artifact, jar this in Nexus deployment repo. Let's delete the repository and try to create again. Let's delete this repository and try to create again. So I'll click on this repository, I'll delete the repository, yes. And then let's create a repository again. So I'll click on create repository. I'll select Maven. I'll select Maven to hosted, and I'll give the name Java Web App Repository. Once I give the name Java Web App Repository, I'll select the type as mixed. Java Web App Repository, I'll select the type as mixed because we want to store both releases and new. Because we want to store both releases and snapshots. Once I select that, I'll click on create repository. Once I create this new repository, let's run a Maven deploy again. So I'll clear. And then we run a Maven deploy. So you see scanning project, building Java snapshot, that test, and then it's running the deploy. Maven test failures, that progress, that. Now the deploy was successful. We see the build is successful. Now you see uploading to Nexus deployment repo on this IP, and then uploaded to Nexus deployment repo. This is on this IP. For you to verify that your artifact has been created and deployed, we come back to our Nexus server. We click here to browse server contents. We click there to browse server contents. We come to browse. We click on browse. You come to the Java Web App Repository, and you should now see content with respect to this repository. You see content with respect to this repository. If you click on snapshot, you see one snapshot has been created. This one snapshot is because we've been able to run the build just once. For us to go a step further, we come back to our Maven server. We rerun the Maven deploy, meaning that we are trying to, assuming that we have created some new form of code, we are trying to push the code again to consider or to take into consideration or to take into account the new fixes or the new changes. Now, once you do a new deploy, you see a new snapshot is created. And for us to verify that a new snapshot is created, we can come back here. If you refresh this tab, you see Maven. If you refresh this tab, you go to browse, you come to your Java project, you come to snapshot, you will now see we have the second snapshot. So for as long as you're doing a new build, a new snapshot is being created. So it automatically, if you are to do if you cd to a Java project, you do a tree. If you do a tree, you come here, you see we have this Java Web App 1.0.jar snapshot which was created, and then this is another Java 1.0.jar snapshot which was created. So these are the various snapshots. For every time you do a build, a new snapshot is created, which is then pushed to your Nexus repository. So basically, this is how Maven works with Nexus, where you use Maven to create your artifacts, your jar artifacts as snapshots, and then you store those artifacts here in Nexus. If you open this, you will now see the corresponding jar file. So we have the Java Web App 1.0 done on this date.jar. The same thing, if you open the second one, you will see Java Web App 1.0/0.2. So that's basically how we can configure Nexus and Maven. Let's go on to our next modules to configure SonarQube.